إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون. نحمده تعالى على نعمائه لا نحصي ثناء عليه، وكما أثنى على نفسه وأثنى عليه رسوله عليه الصلاة والسلام. نشكره ولا نكفره، نؤمن به ونتوكل عليه، ومولانا وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. ثم أما بعد، أحبتي في الله، there are situations where every one of us wish not to have. Every one of us would hope and pray to be free from. These issues, these situations cannot be achieved by one's effort. They cannot be achieved by our own intellect, by our own cleverness. They are matters that are given. They cannot be taken. They have to be given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these matters are everything that has value in our lives. None of us in this life wants to live alone. Every one of us wishes to be in the company of others. Small or large, but we wish to be in the company of others. A spouse in our privacy, children in our home, friends in public, colleagues at work, a society that surrounds. It is not a healthy situation. It is not a friendly matter to be alone. It is depressing and painful that one lives by themselves. In fact, even in prisons, if they want to punish one for getting out of line, they put them in an individual cell. Even the grave. We do not wish to be alone in there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those who are believers, will give company. None of us in life wants to feel the feeling of lost of direction, unknown destiny, confusion of what is. Every one of us wants to feel that they know where they're heading and where they're ending. They want guidance to enlighten their way. They need a map to assure that they don't take the wrong turn. We do not want to live in an endless circle in life. Living in an endless circle is painful. You feel worthless when you do not know where you're ending. None of us wants to live a life of need and poverty. We all strive to have enough, a place to shelter ourselves in, means to get us to the next place, clothing that are decent, and food on the table. The basic needs in our lives are essential. And the greatest pain that one has is to find themselves in need of others for them to keep on going. Or to find that the table that their children and families sit at is lacking food. No one wants to have that kind of feeling. The Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to ask Allah Ta'ala for refuge from poverty. No one wants to live the life where their chest and heart is feeling the weight of the world on them. And they feel the stress, endless stress, that puts so much weight and heaviness in our lives. The moment that we breathe, it's a breath of life. But there are some of us that live a life of heaviness that can barely breathe. None of us wants to live a life in guilt, where every day it's hard for you to look in the mirror and feel okay. You can create an illusion in the eyes of everyone in life, where you can fool them to see the best of you, or at least what they think they are seeing. But you cannot fool yourself when you look in the mirror and you're not proud of the person you see. The feeling of guilt that strips away the nights of calm and transforms our evenings into rage of oneself. The moments where you want to settle to rest, only to feel like your body is sensing that there are insects moving along throughout your skin because of the guilt that you experience. People that you can't look into their eyes because you fear they might just see right through you. No one wants to be forgotten. Every day, we all try to build a name for ourselves. We all try to, and hope that we will be remembered in a way that leaves a history of praise. No one wants to be forgotten. These 6 matters that I mentioned, we think that we can accomplish them We can reach them through our hard work in chasing the dunya. That if I wake up early enough while others are asleep, I'll be richer. If I be more vocal, I'll be more known. If I embrace comedy and humor, people will love to be around me. We assume all of these things can be accomplished just because we can do more. But listen to these two ayahs, or these ayahs that Allah Ta'ala spoke to the best of humanity. To the one that no one worked harder than him. No one was more merciful than him, and gentle and kind than him. No one had a family name like his. No one had richness in his family like he did. He descended from a family of greatness, lived in the greatest of all cities, and was given the intelligence of all mankind. But Allah Ta'ala still said to him, أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. Did he not find you? Did I not find you an orphan, alone, lost? And I created company for you. And I gave you guidance. The Rasul felt that loss. That's why he climbed the cave time and time again, exploring the universe, looking at the stars, wondering what's the end game. And he could not find his way until Allah Ta'ala revealed to him, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah Ta'ala reminds him, أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. You were lost. I gave you the guidance. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. And I found you poor, and I enriched you. He gave him contentment, acceptance, settlement in the heart. He gave the people that loved him to a level where Abu Sufyan said, Wallahi, I have met kings and rulers, never saw any followers loving their leader like the Sahaba of Mohammad loving him. He would do wudu, and they would rush to get that water, that residue, before it touches the floor, the ground, so they can rub it on themselves for the blessings. They will not speak until he speaks. They will not even out of respect dare to raise their eyes to look at his face. It's ironic. Even his physical description in the history books are never clear. And the best description we've had is by Ma'bad, who she did not know who he was. But the Sahaba at large numbers did not see him eye to eye. He received the love, the company, the wealth of acceptance and contentment. Allah Ta'ala said to him also, أَلَمْ نَشْرَحْ لَكَ صَدْرَكَ. Did we not open up your chest, your heart? وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ. الذي أنقذ ظهرك, and we lifted off of you all the burdens of life. All the heaviness that one feels that crumbles you down, Allah Ta'ala took that away from him. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرًا, and we elevated your name. A name that the world cannot hear enough of. You cannot take these things in life. They have to be given to you. We are searching for these things in the wrong place. We are appealing to people in the anger of Allah Ta'ala, so He takes away the acceptance of people of us. من أرضى الناس بسخط الله سخط الله سخط الله عليه وأسخط عليه الناس. Anyone that pleases people and return to upset or anger Allah Ta'ala will anger people at them, at Him, and He will not be pleased with them. We seek to please people through our sins and wrongs. We try to enrich ourselves through the haram and lies. We will deal with what is clearly forbidden in the Quran as interest. We will steal in theft and cleverness. We will cheat and be happy to get away with our cheating and disingenuous lives, when the enrichment only comes from Allah Ta'ala. It can only come from Allah Ta'ala. We will indulge in worldly pleasures. We'll have music that explodes our eardrums. We will have variety of foods that bloats our belly. We will have all the entertainments of the world so we can open our chest to easement and find contentment in happiness, and none of it comes. On the contrary, the opposite happens. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. Whoever turns away from my dhikr, their lives will be lives of hardship. يا عبدي من طلب الدنيا بطاعتي أتته الدنيا وهي راغمة. Whoever seeks the dunya through my obedience, this dunya would come to him unwillingly. ومن طلب الدنيا بمعصيتي جعلته فيها كالوحش في البرية يجري فيها وليس آخذ منها إلا ما قد كتبته له. And those who seek the dunya through his disobedience, he will make them live a life of creatures in the desert, where they would run and run and run endlessly, but they at the end will not take from this dunya except what was meant for them to have. But with what was meant for them to have, they will have the pain and the agony and the trials and the pain of trying to gain access to those privileges that Allah Ta'ala gives us. This was sent to His Prophet. Imagine us. So ask yourself, do you really control the outcome of your life through running in this dunya endlessly, or would it be better to control the outcome by surrendering yourself to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? It's a simple question. Would you rather be on the side of the one that controls and says, be and it is, and it will be yours? Or trying to depend on those who will fail you? Or yourself that will betray you? And you will end up with nothing that has value. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ثم أما بعد، ملخص ما قلنا أن المرء يسعى في هذه الدنيا إلى وضوح الطريق وكثرة المال ووفرة الصحبة. يتمنى المرء في هذه الحياة أن ينشرح صدره فيجد لذة الحياة، وأن يرفع عنه الهم والغم التي تكبد النفوس، وأن يكون له ذكرا حسنا على ألسنة الغير. وكل واحد منا يسعى في هذه الدنيا أن ينال هذه الأشياء، يعتمد ذلك على جهده ذكائه. يظن إذا أكثر من العمل أكثر الله ماله، وإذا جرى وراء الناس سيكسب ودهم وحبهم، أنه إذا استمتع بمتاع الدنيا ولذاتها أن الهم والغم يرتفع عنه. ينسى بأن مجريات هذه الدنيا هي بيد خالقها، وهو الرازق المعطي، كما أنه هو المانع. ينسون أن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال في الحديث الذي سمعتموه أن من طلب الدنيا بطاعة الله تعالى أتته الدنيا وهي راغبة، ومن طلبها بمعصيته جعله الله تعالى فيها كالوحش في البرية. تخيل وحشا في الصحراء، صحراء قاحلة ليس فيها حياة، سيكون فيها يجري ولا يجد فيها إلا ما كتب الله له. ينسى الواحد منا أن الله تعالى قال: ولئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم. إذا أردت الدنيا أحبتي، إذا أردتم الدنيا فاطلبوها عند مالكها. إذا أردتم راحة البال فاطلبوا ذلك من يد من قلوب الناس بين أصبعين من أصابعه. إذا أردتم محبة الناس فإن الله تعالى إذا أحب عبدا نادى في جبريل وقال: يا جبريل إني أحب فلانا فأحبه، فينادي جبريل فيقول: إن الله قد أحب فلانا فأحبوه، فإذا أحبه أهل السماء أحبه أهل الأرض. إذا أردت أن الهم والغم يذهب عنك والخوف والفزع فالجأ إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى. فلقد كان الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يدعو الله تعالى ويتعوذ من الهم من الغم والجبن وغلبة الدين والرجال. إذا أردت الله تعالى أن يذكرك ويجعل لك ذكرا حسنا فاطلب ذلك بطاعته، اطلب ذلك بطاعته. انظر كيف من الله تعالى على رسوله عليه الصلاة والسلام بهذه الأشياء. والرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم خير منا جميعا ذكاء ومكانة واسما وأسرة، ومع ذلك قال: وجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى. ألم يجدك يتيما قبل ذلك فآوى. لم يكن ينشرح له صدرا إن لم يشرحه الله تعالى له. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك. هذا الوزر هذا الهم الذي أنقذ ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك. غلبت علينا الدنيا وغلبت علينا نفوسنا فأنسانا الشيطان من أين تؤكل الكبد هو الكتف، وطلبنا الدنيا بمن لا يملك لنفسه نفعا ولا ضرا. وخفنا في الدنيا من لا يملك علينا أذى ولا قوة. فأسأل الله تعالى أن يغفر لي ولكم، وأن يثبت قلوبنا على طاعته، وأن يربط قلوبنا به سبحانه وتعالى، أن يرزقنا يا ربنا راحة البال وغنى النفس وصحبة صالحة، وأن يبعد عنا الهم والغم والخوف والفزع، وأن لا يجعل أمورنا بيد غيره إنه سميع مجيب الدعوات. قبل أن أنتهي من الخطبة, please make dua for one of our brothers. I believe. Bring it up here. For one of our brothers, his name is Zor Khan. He's in the hospital. He had a stroke. So please make dua for him. Allahumma shfi mardana wa marda al-muslimin. And also make dua for our brother Mohammad Arifanullah. He is ill today in operation. أسأل الله تعالى أن ينجح عمليته وأن يخفف عنه إن شاء الله ما به من الألم. أسأل الله تعالى أن يشفينا جميعا مما نعانيه، وأن يجعل إن شاء الله موتنا خيرا لنا في ديننا ودنيانا وعاقبة أمرنا. اعلموا أحبتي في الله أن الله تعالى يقول إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي. Before I finish, I almost forgot. I wanted to bring this news to you also. Our city, the city of Tacoma, last Tuesday signed a resolution calling for an immediate a permanent ceasefire. We had been working on this for over 2.5 months or 3. We finally were able to get the city to sign that up. What was disturbing to me during all that process that I was involved in for 2.5 or almost 3 months, that the city hall room that the meetings were conducted every Tuesday at 5 were filled, packed with every diverse individual you can think of, from the transgenders to the gays and lesbians to the white Christians to the Jews and African Americans, and every different flavors except one flavor that was not there. All these people calling for freedom of Palestine and the end of war and the genocide of Gaza, but only one group throughout those 3 months I did not see. Do you know what group was that? Yes. Us, the Muslims. I will say this, and I'm standing here in the minbar. I did not miss one Tuesday for 3 straight months, almost 3 months. I did not see except one Muslim that came this Tuesday. Every other week, there's not one individual that came to speak to the city hall and say we want a resolution to call for a ceasefire. So shame on us. Shame on us. But at the end of the day, alhamdulillah, inna Allah la yansuru hadha ad-din bi rajulin fajir. Allah will give victory for this deen by the wrongful person. They did well, and they spoke well. City did not want to do anything. They made them do it. Let's stand up for this. One last thing. UW has started having their own demonstrations, as you hear universities across the country doing so. They are speaking up like we've never seen in history, except in previous events like the Vietnam and so forth. But we're hearing people that at one time hated us, speaking on our behalf, students, youngsters speaking for humanity. I hope we can help them out. We can support them. We do not want to wait until they start to arrest them, as they're doing in Columbia University and UCLA and other parts of the country. There are senators and representatives that they're calling these students disgusting and other profanity. while they're only demonstrating their freedom to speak. And they're describing them like this when they are non-Muslims. Imagine if we were all Muslims, what would they say? We need to show up. We need to show up. So at least they can see that we're there for them too. I called last week all of you to register to vote. I'm wondering if anyone that had not registered heard me and went out and registered, or at least asked us to help him register to vote. I mentioned last week the representative of this area. Instead of her coming back to her community, she went to meet Netanyahu in Israel. Because she doesn't fear you. She doesn't even know that you're here. She doesn't know that you're here. A group of us wanted to talk to her. And the response to talk is she put conditions to what is being said. And then nothing was said. Until we come together, we have no weight or value. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاحا إلا أعنتنا على قضائها ويسرتنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر إخواننا في غزة. اللهم انصر إخواننا في غزة. اللهم مكنهم على عدونا وعدوهم. اللهم مكنهم على عدونا وعدوهم. اللهم اكتب لهم النصر والتمكين، واكتب على أعدائهم الخزي والعار والهزيمة يا رب العالمين. اللهم من أراد هذا الدين وأهله بخير فخذ بيده إلى كل خير، ومن أراد هذا الدين وأهله بشر فاجعل كيده في نحره واجعل تدبيره في تدبيره يا رب العالمين. اللهم أرنا فيهم يوما أسودا. اللهم أرنا فيهم يوما أسودا. اللهم أرنا فيهم يوما أسودا. اللهم احفظنا بحفظك واكلنا برعايتك ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يرحمنا. اعلموا أحبتي في الله أن الله تعالى يقول الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. ثم اعلموا أن الله تعالى يقول إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر. والله يصنع وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استوى اعتدل راسه. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, tomorrow after Maghrib, we're going to be having a lecture from Sheikh Yahya about interactions between non-mahrams or gender interactions. It's open for men, women, and children. Inshallah, we want to see everybody here. Jazakumullah khair. Sheikh Yahya Sufi.